Hi guys, this is the Purple Pansy, Nathan Chartrand. I want to make a quick video because after SSG this past weekend, I think the number one thing that people are asking me when they reach out to me or if they make content about my deck, the first question they have is, where is the 3-cost lady? She's not there. You're playing Lemon Lime aggro, and you're not using one of the most powerful cards in the set. Why is that? And first I want to say, I think Lady is a great card. I think she's very good. But I think explaining my evaluation of the card may help other people understand how to evaluate cards in general and, why it didn't go in my deck. I do think that this card belongs in a lot of decks, specifically Amber Steel aggro seems to be using the card incredibly well. But I think this card is possibly being a bit overvalued for a couple simple reasons. First off, this is the card. It's a 3-cost, it's inkable, it's a 2/2 quest for 2. But the effect is what people are looking at, which is when you play this character, you may play a character with cost 2 or less for free. Now, the thing is that you need to have that card in your hand. So as a top deck, Lady is just being played on its own, doesn't have an effect. But if you play Lady while you have a 1 or a 2-drop in your hand, you can then play that card at the same time you play this Lady. So people are reading this as a incredibly valuable card for going wide. And I agree with that to an extent. But what we need to do when we evaluate cards is kind of break it down a bit mathematically. So this card, value-wise, is also going to be played in the combo of playing the 2 or the 1. So let's take out the cost here. And let's take out the ability. We know that we're getting a 2 or a 1 while we play this. We're paying 3 ink to get a 2 or a 1, and we're getting this card. How strong is this card on its own? It is a 2/2 that quests for 2. Let's compare it to the 1-drops first. Daisy, very hard to compare, right? Because Daisy has a huge drawback, but has major upside in that it's not going to die to Storm. Lady's going to die to Storm, but Lady's inkable. Lady isn't giving them a card when she quests. The Lady card might be a little, the 1-cost Lady card might be a little more comparable, but in order to get the bonus aura, that aggro, that aggression, you're going to have to meet the requirement. You do get up to 3 lore total, but you still have a requirement to meet. She also, on the opponent's turn, is going to be a 0/3 most of the time, unless there's, a standing effect on her. So she's not swinging back in anything. When people challenge the 3-cost Lady, the Lady that we're comparing here, they're at least taking 2 damage. Lilo, the 1-drop, clear upgrade, right? It's just not even a competition. It's double the stats. It's inkable. Nala, also 1-cost, inkable, is not very aggressive, doesn't quest for 2, can survive Storm Rage on, so it gets a little extra value, but it still isn't that fast of a card. Merfolk is a bit tricky because both are going to die to Storm. Merfolk's going to die to Storm. Lady's going to die to Storm. That's really kind of the first kind of hurdle a lot of aggro cards need to get over is, are they going to die to Storm Rage on? Both of them are going to die to Storm Rage on. It's kind of up in the air on if the opponent has to challenge you, which one would you rather have? Would you rather have the opponent take 2 damage, or would you rather them discard a card? That's a bit up in the air. So it's actually not directly comparable, right? So 1-drop wise, if Lady was a 1-drop on its own with no effect, would I play the card? I think so. I think absolutely, actually. I think the fact that it's inkable, the fact that it isn't doesn't die to a soft breeze like Lilo. Like, I mean, at least it can stand up to like Big Tank being played or something like that. And if I need it to swing into things, it's got 2 strength, so I mean that's not the worst. I definitely would play this card as 1 cost. Would I play this lady if it cost 2 and did not have an effect? Let's compare. First, let's go to Lilo, the zombie Lilo, as we call her. 1/2, very similar stats, quest for 2, but has a huge bonus effect of being able to play from the discard at the start of turn. Kind of allows you to kind of have some resiliency to board wipes, continue to pressure if you're in top deck mode and you're not drawing a lot of cards. I think if I had the choice, if this lady costs 2, I think I would always choose Lilo over this lady. Piglet. This one's a little trickier. I think I would definitely choose Piglet. I think for the purposes of aggression and aggro, it has the same stat line, 2/2. It's inkable, it's 2. It's questing for 1, but the condition to get it to 3 is easy enough that I think I would probably prefer to play Piglet. I would say Piglet's the better card. How about Wendy? Wendy's an interesting one. You don't see Wendy very often. But honestly, I would probably prefer to play Wendy as a 2 cost over the lady as a 2 cost because she survives Storm Rage on. She loses 1 strength by comparison, but honestly, as far as a trade-off goes, I think I'd probably rather play Wendy Darling. And then we can go into kind of green cards. I'm sure, I mean, Steel's going to have different cards as well. There's Smee. Would you rather play this lady as a 2 cost compared to Smee? I doubt a lot of people would choose the lady over Smee. The 3/3, yeah, the ability has a drawback, but it's not really that big of a deal. But even these green cards, Baymax, it's a little questionable. But because he enters play exerted, I mean, unless there's a Calhoun on the board, then you're just kind of giving them free lore. But at least it's a trade, right? It's taking out a lot of things. If a Fox runs into this, it's a trade with Fox. Enchantress, it's a trade with Fox as well. Yeah, it dies to ping damage a little bit more, like Big Tank and things like that. But I think I would definitely rather play Enchantress than a 2 cost lady with the 2/2 quest for 2 stats. Flynn Rider, I would choose Flynn Rider. I think the effect of discarding a card is better than the 1 strength. I think that's just a straight up upgrade. I think that's worth it. I don't know why I put Gogo on here. Honestly, Gogo is kind of hard to... I should have put Smee on here instead. Now that we have evaluated that, let's go ahead and think. We have 1 drop. We have 2 drop. Where does Lady fit in power-wise? Just the value of the card. Where would Lady, without the text, without anything, what would she cost as far as value? I'm pretty confident in saying she'd be somewhere right here. She'd be pretty in the middle. There are some 1-drop cards that honestly can compete with her, but you know, generally they're not inkable. Generally they have drawbacks like Daisy. But I think almost every aggro 2-drop that we looked at is just a straight upgrade from Lady. So here's the question. If you are paying 3 ink for a card and you're getting a 2-drop for free when you play it, if you play this lady on 3, you are getting value if you play a 2-drop with the lady because you're paying 3 ink for 2.5 relative power, right? Obviously, this is just an estimation. It doesn't work linearly like that. But generally, you're getting value because you're paying 3 to get 3.5, essentially. What if you don't have a 2-drop in your hand? What if you are paying 3 to get a 1 and a 1.5? You're overpaying. You're essentially paying for, to put 2 cards on the board, but you're not getting too much value out of that. If we don't play Lady but we want to play 2 cards on turn 3. Our other option other than Lady is to play a 2-drop and a 1-drop. And in a lot of situations, you know, compared to playing Lady, yeah, playing the 2-drop and the 1-drop isn't going to be as good as the Lady and a 2-drop, but it is going to be as good, if not better, than playing the Lady and a 1-drop most of the time, at least according to relative estimation. So the question then becomes, why is this card good? It's good because it gives you a little bit of value on turn 3. One thing that I don't like about it is that normally a card of that power level that's in between 1 and 2, I don't like being locked out of playing that card in the first 2 turns. I can't play Lady until turn 3, which means on turn 3 I'm getting multiple cards, but they're all of the power level that's earlier, and I can't play her at the same time of cards of this power level, essentially. So you're kind of keeping, you know, you're going wide, you're playing weak cards, but a lot of them. And I think that's beneficial in a lot of decks. Specifically, I do think that like Amber Steel aggro is good. But I also think that there's lots of decks that are going to look at this card and shouldn't consider it for their decks because it's not giving them the value they want. If they're ratios of 2-drops, maybe they're not getting enough 2-drops, maybe they're not getting aggro 2-drops that they want to go wide with. You know, in my deck, I have Piglet that I can play with this, and I'd be really happy if I got Piglet down. But generally, if I'm going aggro, I don't want to play a Go-Go with this. You know, an Ursula is nice, but if I'm going wide, it's not giving me that much value. But even more importantly, in my deck, I'm playing the 5-cost uninkable Lady that pulls 1 and 2-drops from my discard. So if I'm building my deck and trying to fill it with 1s and 2s that I want to pull from the graveyard later, Lady doesn't fit that role. I can't grab her from the graveyard because she costs 3. So on turn 3, would I rather play this Lady and a 2 or a 1-drop? Or on turn 3, would I rather play a 2-drop and a 1-drop on their own, knowing that I can get them back from my discard? It's a simple answer for me. I would rather play the 2-drop and the 1-drop. Again, that's because of how my deck is built with the big Lady. That might not be the conclusion that everybody comes to, because this Lady is giving you value in a lot of decks. But if you're on the fence about this card and you're having trouble in testing and seeing the value of it, it might not be because you're not seeing the miracle that everybody else is seeing. It may just be that the math is not working out for you, and it might be how your deck is built. And I really think that when we evaluate cards, we need to look at them analytically and mathematically and figure out what ratio works best for us. So thanks for watching. Hope this helped you. I'll try to put out more deck tech videos in the future. Thanks.